Scanning and enumeration phase. So during the scanning and enumeration phase, you need to find ports. You need to detect technology and stuff. So how you detect the technology? There are plugins like Wappalyzer, for example, this one. That plugin can be installed in Google Chrome or Edge, but we can just try to use it without plugin right here. No result found. Okay, https mail.com. Yeah, let's just analyze the technologies. So this one, you should understand that you should know all about your service because hackers, they will know all about your service better than you do. So for you, it's better to be ahead of the game. I don't know why it's not opening. Let's open, for example, WordPress website, wordpress.org. This one. I don't know. Let's check another website. BuildWiz. There is another website which is working much better. Interesting that much man. Okay. So we can see here the list of technologies which is used on the WordPress website. We can see that on the WordPress website, the WordPress 7.0 is used, and the Facebook links are used, and the RSS feed is there, and a lot of stuff. We can see that Google Webmasters use. So now we understand what those guys are using. And based on that information, we can understand that if this is WordPress website, most likely it is running on Apache. If it is WordPress website, it is PHP website. If it is PHP website, it is not ISP or Java or Python website. It means that we are focusing on the PHP attacks. So we need to be clear what we are doing. We need to understand which port it's running, where it's running, and which technology it is using. So on the website BuildWiz, for example, we can see the products and technologies and different stuff. PHP is having multiple frameworks, and PHP is a programming language. So usually the websites which are hosted on the Apache, which is a web server, HTTP server, are usually run on the PHP. So PHP is super vulnerable, and I will show you some examples on how to work with PHP websites. Any programming language can be basically exploited because they are all hosted in the internet, and each programming language has specific vulnerabilities which is possible to exploit. There is no programming language which will not allow you to hack it. There is none. Why? Because programming language allows you to execute commands on your computer. If something allows you to execute commands on its computer, on its server, it means it can be exposed to the web. If it can be exposed to the web, hacker can find how to hack it. So I'm just saying that some programming languages, for example, Rust or Go, they are like less possible to be exploited. More possible, PHP. After goes Java, it has like specific vulnerabilities. After goes like Python and all other programming languages. And each of them, they have a vulnerable libraries which are used by millions. So millions of people daily are using vulnerable libraries which are vulnerable by design. So for example, I would just give a brief example. On Java, PHP, and Python, there is library which is used by all the developers, which is called serialize, deserialize. What this means? It means that developer want to send one part of code to another part of code and save all the variables in that code. So developer is doing serialization of the data and after deserialization of the data. For some reason, when you're doing deserialization in Python, in PHP, in Java, it will execute the code which can be variable. So if you are serializing, for example, my name, but I'm not putting my name, I'm putting the malicious code, you will serialize malicious code, and after you will execute it blindly. So this is what is going on programming languages, and it is not going to be fixed. So vulnerability detection stage, I will show you some reports. We talked about, for example, Nessus. Nessus is web vulnerabilities, is network vulnerability scanner. What it does, it enumerates the ports. It finds the hosts which are alive. What is alive? Alive means ping google.com. If you ping google.com and it will reply to you, not like this. It means it's alive. If it's not pinging, it's not alive. You don't need to scan what is not alive. But if it doesn't reply on ping, it doesn't mean that it is not alive, because ping is optional. This is ICMP, and server can say, I don't care. I'm not going to communicate with you on ICMP. ICMP, it is a specific protocol which is TCP based, and it is basically ping. So this is ICMP. You just playing ping pong with the server, and ICMP, it has like multiple usage. Trace RT google.com. So using ICMP, you can also analyze the amount of hops to specific website. So this one is this router. First of all, we hop to this router. After, this router is hopping to sonic.net, to their router. So this is trace route. This is one of the most basic activities which you can do to understand the full path from you to specific host. So on this example, which I wanted to show you, this is a web vulnerability scan. So all hackers and all guys who are doing penetration testing, they are running such tools. So this is Nessus. You can just go and get the free version of the tool. So what it will do, for example, here it is showing that on specific website, on donkey.party, on this website, there is vulnerability, and that vulnerability can allow you to see the username. So let me show you this in real life. Let me just run the Docker. While Docker is running, I will tell you, okay. So you can spin this stuff out and you can deploy it to practice your hacking skills. So it is so easy. You just go here and you can deploy this website. This website is extremely vulnerable web application. So in extremely vulnerable web application, there is list of known vulnerabilities for the web. Most of them are focused on SQL, database hacking, on cross-site scripting, where you can inject malicious code to the website, where you can extract the operating system information and other stuff. So let's deploy that stuff. Which ports it is running, or better, let me run it right here. So vulnerable xvva docker, it's VVA docker. So we can just access this website, and this is Docker Hub. In Docker Hub, you can download the containers with different stuff, including the vulnerable application. So let's try to run this one, deploy it. It's asking for login. Okay, let's use this one. I think it's hosted here. 777. No, that okay. Let me put it up for you so you will understand what I mean. This is like little bit old stuff. There is like another website. It's called yeah. Now I think it's going to be deployed. Yeah, this one. Look. So I just deployed in 1 minute. Damn vulnerable website. This damn vulnerable website is vulnerable by design. So why do you need to have this vulnerable stuff? First of all, to test your tools, right? Or when you will finish setting it up, it will have the ability for you to access it and test your skills. So DBVA by default, which credential it has, admin and password. Okay, admin, password, admin, sorry, admin and password, admin, password. So now I'm here and I see the list of different types of vulnerabilities. This is brute force vulnerability. So this is the easiest one. What is brute force vulnerability? It allows you to send different passwords. So you can try to create the tool which will enumerate those passwords. And if there is no protection, finally, you will be able to access it. So if the password is admin and you are trying like 77111, finally, if you will put a library of 1 million passwords, which you can get here, top passwords, GitHub, payload, all the things. Just an example. So you just go here. Okay. Rock you top GitHub. So there are word lists, and those word lists you can just download from here, and they have 14 million real passwords. For example, if you will put this stuff to brute force, that specific form, I think within 1 million of passwords maximum, you will be already logged in, because you can send at least 100 requests per second. So look, you understand? It's not doing anything. It's not blocking me. It's allowing me to send this amount of passwords. So the idea here is that this is vulnerability which you should understand. First of all, brute force. Somebody is guessing your password using the dictionaries, which are generated from the leaked data, maybe even from you.